Julia here from JM2 Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with a ship with me. These are some orders that came through over the weekend. Some really cool pieces, some interesting brands to talk about, some cool vintage pieces. But before we jump in, first and foremost, if you are new here, welcome. I'm Julia, that is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you are into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But guys, surprising to nobody, I am running late. I had my best friend in the whole world out here visiting this past weekend. We did so many super fun things, but I just dropped her off at the airport and I am playing catch up. It is already afternoon. I've got to get these things packed and off to the post office. I've got a million more things to do, a couple more errands to run, and I got to get back here to get cranking on some work that I've let slide over the last few days. So guys, without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get into the shipments. So the first item we've got here is this super cute thermal from Free People. This is a We the Free thermal, and We the Free just always is like the best selling line out of Free People. Look at this cute little like elbow patch detail on this. This has a nice like weight to it, and I knew that this was gonna be a quick sell. It's oversized, but for whatever reason, thermal Free People pieces always just sell really well for me. Whether it's one of like the fancy cuff thermals or something like this, they just always have a really high demand. And I think it's just because the textile itself is really high quality. Like it washes well, it wears well, it drapes well, it's never too like stiff. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I can't remember what the name of this is. I have it in my spreadsheet. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen below. But it was a pretty dang quick sale, and I will never turn away a Free People thermal piece. So I got this for $1 at the bins and had it listed for $32. And I got an offer for $26 within about 3 weeks, which I did accept. The $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $19.25. Again, these kind of shirts from Free People are an always buy for me. So if you see them out there and the price is right, I mean, again, you're not gonna get like $40 for them. With very few exceptions, there are certain like pieces that are just more sought after than others. But for the most part, they're generally gonna be a pretty reliable $25 to $35 sale. So use those numbers, you know, as you are sourcing to make sure that your profit is where it needs to be. Next up, this is a piece from my own closet. This is a little Spanx shirt. And I want to say that this was called like the leggings shirt. And I just didn't pull it out of my closet all that much. It's just kind of like a little bit of an oversized sweatshirt that goes long enough to cover your bum. That's kind of the whole sticking point. And I am just somebody who is very, very persnickety about necklines. And this neckline was just a hair too big, and I always thought it just did nothing for me, so I just didn't pull it out all that much. It was very expensive. I want to say I paid maybe $90 for it, something in that range. And at that price, if I'm not pulling it out, I need to move it on to somebody who will get it some use. I can't stand by that in my own closet. So Spanx is definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. I know a ton of people do really well with it. I don't find it all that often out here, which is kind of unusual. I've only found maybe 1 or 2 pieces in the last year or so. But for me, it's always going to be a pickup if the price is right. Because people just really love their stuff. And I gotta say, like, their clothing is pretty great quality. I know people really love their jeans. I've yet to find a pair of their jeans, and they always sell really quick. Let me know down below if you are somebody who does really well with Spanx. I want to know kind of like what you love about it and what pieces in particular you're moving. So I had this listed for $35 and I got an offer for $28.50 after about a month and a half. Again, this is from my own closet, so profit on this ended up being $20 even. So very happy to be getting this onto a place where it's gonna be getting some more use. Seeing stuff like that in my closet that I paid full price for, that I'm just not wearing, kills me. Next up is this absolutely adorable linen blend jumpsuit. This is from a brand called Grade and Gather, which is a boutique brand. And it's just, you know, kind of got a smocked back, it's a halter top, and it's got wide cropped legs. It is so cute. Now, This is definitely a classic case of something that I picked up for this style. I just love linen for the summer. This is a linen blend, it's linen cotton blend, but this is definitely something that I knew would sell just based on the style. When you're talking keywords here, you've got like railroad stripe, linen, jumpsuit, wide leg, summer, resort wear. You've got all these kind of keywords that you can use for something like this. Again, I'm in California, so while I will tell most people to be conscious of seasonality of what you are picking as you are sourcing, where I am, that's not necessarily doable because we're generally warm year round. So we just have an inordinately high percentage of summer clothing here. So I had this guy. Now I did have it for about 6 months. Again, I got it, you know, beginning of winter. And I had it listed for $26. Again, it's one of those boutique brands, so I'm not gonna be, you know, getting a crazy amount of money for it. But I got an offer for $18. I was ready to move it on. With the $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $13.40. And this is just such a cute piece. And I would pick it up tomorrow if I found another one. Next up, now this was kind of a cool find, and this was definitely a gut pick. This is a pair of golf shorts from the brand J. Lindeberg. Now, I had never heard of them before. I picked them up because they felt so nice. Like, I don't know all the golf brands, but I do know when a textile is high quality, and I do know when construction is really nice. Now, when I got home and I did research on these, it turns out these are a couple years old. Now, if you were to find something that's newer, like that's kind of still in line right now, these would go, it looks like in the $40 to $50 range. So definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. Let me know if you've ever found something from them before, or if you are familiar with the brand, like let us know, educate us all. I just don't know much about golf. But these were black, they were a very common size for men. I knew that once golf season hit, they would be a pretty quick sale, like once it started to warm up. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So I had these listed for $32. Again, if I had found that they were like an inline piece, I would have listed more in that $40 to $50 range. Because they retail, I want to say like $100, $125. They are not cheap. So I had this listed for $32 for about 4 months, and I got an offer for $25, which I did accept. With the $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $18.49. So very, very cool, and a new brand that I know now to look out for as long as I'm sourcing it at the right price. And if I find one that happens to be new, definitely a bolo. Next up is this super cute J. Jill embroidered t-shirt. This is just like a heavyweight jersey. It's got these beautiful like embroidered medallions all over, and then that bottom hem, all that design down there is also embroidered with this kind of stitch detail. These are the kind of pieces that I love finding from the bins. They're almost always like a guaranteed quick sale. They're not anything that's gonna light the world on fire with what you're gonna get for it, but people love J. Jill, and they do not love paying J. Jill prices, because this was probably close to $100. They're very expensive. This is from their Pure Jill line. It's 100% cotton. Like I said, it's a little bit of a heavier weight jersey. It's just lovely, and it was in fantastic condition. It definitely has a nice like boho style to it, which I love. I love their embroidery. Again, it's all just such high quality. So I had this guy for only about a week. And again, I just knew it was gonna be a quick sale. I will pick these things up every time I see them at the bins, every single time. So I had this listed for $24 and got an offer for $19. This was a Mercari sale. So with the $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $18 even. Next up, now this is a brand for sure to be on the lookout for if you're not familiar with it. It's a brand called Amour Vert, Amourvert. And their whole thing, they're a sustainable fashion brand. I want to say that they're in kind of high-end malls. Like I know we have one, it's at one of the high-end malls here. They're very expensive. They use sustainable materials. This is 100% silk. And that is their whole message. Lots of like minimalist style clothing. Very much a great place to go and pick up like a capsule wardrobe. You're gonna find really high quality pieces made of fine fabrics that are sustainable, and they're not gonna be too over the top. Now they have some kind of crazy prints here and there, but for the most part, it's very kind of simplistic clothing in the best way. So I was very excited to find this. This is the first time I ever found this in the bins. I have found this in the thrift before, and I've kept it. No shame. Eventually those pieces will go into my resale rotation if I ever tire of them. But I was very excited to find this in the bins. So I had this listed for 2 months at $48, and my sidekick sent an offer for $43, which was accepted. So with a $1 cost of the bins, which, hello, this brought my profit to $31.38. Super happy to have found that, and very happy to, I mean, this is, their whole message is that they're a sustainable brand. I am sure that they would be supportive of reselling their pieces instead of letting them go into landfills. They go to great lengths to keep their stuff sustainable. So next up, this one was a new brand for me. This is a brand called Onia, O-N-I-A, and this is a men's sweatshirt, but I picked it up because while it is like, I'm sure you can't really see the detail on this. It is, you know, it looks like a gray heathered sweatshirt. This fabric is very textured. It looks kind of like a dressier sweatshirt. Now it seems that it looks like they're sold at Nordstrom and maybe at Saks Fifth Avenue. They run in the low hundreds retail. So definitely something to be on the lookout for. I'm interested. Have any of you ever found a piece from Anya, or is Anya already on your radar? Am I saying their name wrong? Let me know, please. I am always hyper aware of those words that I've learned through reading that I'm very frequently saying them wrong. But like I said, very, very nice quality. It's something that can be like, this isn't necessarily, I mean, it can be a bumming around the house sweatshirt, but it's something you could easily throw on with like a pair of jeans and a nicer pair of sneakers and have like a day out on the town. So definitely a great find, and a brand for sure I will be on the lookout for in the future. So I had this listed for $34. It's about what I saw, that kind of $25 to $35 range in resale. So I had it listed for $34 and I got an offer for $25, which I did accept after 1 week. So with $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $21 even. And definitely excited always for a new brand to watch out for. Now next up, this is an interesting one, because this is a brand I see a bit of and I don't generally pick it up. And I'm interested to hear what your opinion is of this brand. I think that there's a lot of people that do really, really well with it. And I think that there's a lot of people who don't do well with it at all. And that brand is White House Black Market. So this is a very cute, like peacock blue, heavier weight, tencel jumpsuit. It's just so cute. And I bought this because it's a jumpsuit, because I love a one-piece wonder. And it did sit for a little while, but it sold for a pretty great price. And I'm interested, like, is this something that I should start picking up a little bit more? If you guys kill it with White House Black Market, let me know, because I do see quite a bit of it and I do always leave it behind, but I feel like I have some kind of like scar tissue from some pieces that just sat and sat and sat back in the day, but I'm also going back like 4 or 5 years. So it might have kind of swung back around. Let me know. But either way, this was a super cute piece. I do love a jumpsuit. I love a jumpsuit in that color blue. That color blue is just like one of the most flattering colors across the board on pretty much anybody who puts it on. And they are just easy to wear, right? Like they are a whole outfit. I think that people really gravitate to one pieces because you don't have to worry about coordinating what you're wearing on top, what you're wearing on bottom. All you have to worry about is like shoes and accessories. So, I don't know. I absolutely love this. And I'm glad I did pick it up. So I had this for about 4 months and I had it listed for $42. And my sidekick sent an offer for $37 and that was accepted. So with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $26.58. And again, I'm very interested to hear how you guys do with White House Black Market. It's just one of those brands that I've never been sure about, and I want to hear everybody else's experiences with it. Next up here is a great pair of just pull-on crop pants from our girl Eileen Fisher. This is their stretch crepe. And the kind of crazy thing about these pants in particular was, I had literally just, like the day I found this, I had just sold the matching blazer. And I kind of wish I still had that so I could sell it as a set. But isn't that always the way? I literally had it set to pack as soon as I got back from the bins, and sure enough, there it was. So Eileen Fisher, obviously one of my favorite brands. It's one of those brands that, like, if you are in the market for minimalist, like, closet staple pieces, look at Eileen Fisher on the resale market. The quality of all of her pieces is unbelievable, like top notch. But their retail price is very expensive. These were probably close to $300 when they were first bought retail, but on the resale market, you can get these pieces for like $20 to $50, maybe a little bit higher depending on what you're looking at. But I will always pick up Eileen Fisher, especially if I find her in the bins. I just always feel really good about selling Eileen Fisher because I know that, you know, my buyers are getting something like otherwise incredibly expensive for a good price, and I know that the quality is there. I know that the piece is gonna last. I know it's gonna be something that they like lean on in their wardrobe. So I had these for about 2 months. I had them listed for $35, and my sidekick sent an offer for $32, which was accepted. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $23.23. Always pleased about an Eileen Fisher piece headed out the door. Next up, now this was an interesting one. I had these for quite a while, and for a long time, North Face was an always buy for me, and I'm interested to hear where you guys stand with this. This is just a pair of like straight leg sweatpants without elastic at the bottom. They have a little bit of a hydrophobic coating. That's, if you've ever felt sweatshirts that have like a little bit of a slick feel to the outside, that's generally what's considered a hydrophobic coating, and it's something that is employed in stuff that is meant to be worn outdoors to give it a little, like a light moisture resistance. So it's not gonna be like Gore-Tex where it is waterproof and breathable. It is just going to be like a little bit of water will beat up and roll off of these. So like if you get caught in like you get splashed by a stream, or you get a little bit of like misty rain, and you'll be fine. So I had these for about 8 months, and I've had other North Face pieces that have come and gone in that time pretty quickly, but I feel like it's slowing down quite a bit. With the exception of certain pieces that kind of fit into the streetwear world, when it comes to like the pure outdoor stuff, I feel like this is slowing down. Patagonia is still really killing it. Arc'teryx, of course, always still killing it. But North Face has slowed down. Let me know if you are experiencing the same thing. Now, obviously, trend has something to do with it. For years, that the Denali jacket was king. Like, you did not see a college girl walking around that was not wearing black leggings, Uggs, and a Denali jacket. Myself included. I was one of those girls. But now, I mean, like I said, they're still really high quality pieces. You know, they really do make great stuff for outdoors wear. But I just feel like they've slowed down a little bit in the resale market. And it's something, for me at least, that I will be slowing down on picking up unless it's a pretty slam dunk piece. Mostly for me, because with little exception, North Face pieces tend to be a little bit on the bulkier side. You know, they're a polar fleece or whatever. So my storage space is limited, so I need to be conscientious of when I'm picking up something like this that's gonna sit around for 8 months. So anyway, I had these listed for $25, and they did pop through as a full price sale after 8 months. So there's the rub. I paid $2 for these at one of my bins locations that's pay by pound, and that brought my profit to $20.89. I was happy to move these on and maybe learn a little bit of a lesson, so let me know how you're doing with North Face. And finally, this gorgeous vintage Oscar de la Renta nightgown. Isn't she beautiful? I just got her back from the dry cleaners, and there was a couple like pen marks on the front, and they came out beautifully. This, I want to say, is from the 70s. It's got a couple little picks on the front, but it is otherwise in great condition. I knew that this would go. All I kept thinking when I found this was like, I could see a grunge girl throwing this on, you know, under like a motorcycle jacket. But I'm always interested when I sell these things. I just want to know where they're going and how they're going to be worn, because, you know, people who purchase vintage tend to have great style. I wish you could see this lace. It is just so beautiful. Let me see if I can hold that up for you. That lace is just so delicate and so ornate. You know, it just speaks to the quality of the piece. This is exactly the kind of piece that I would buy knowing that it would take a little bit of time to sell. And this is like the contrast between something like the North Face and something like this. Every vintage piece I consider a once in a lifetime find, because the likelihood of me finding another 1970s pink satin vintage nightgown from Oscar de la Renta is pretty low, but the likelihood of me finding another like North Face pair of sweatpants, pretty high. So I'm always willing to take the chance on something vintage, knowing that it's probably gonna take a little bit longer to sell, but that is just something that I really love. It's not something that everybody can do, you know, just depending on their storage systems, but for me, I make it work. Like, I have limited storage. I factor in my vintage pieces hanging around for 6 months to a year. So I had this listed for $64 for 6 months. Again, not surprising, also found right at the beginning of winter. And I got an offer for $48, which I did accept. Very pleased with that, happy to move this on, happy to get this a new home. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $35.38. What a cool find. I hope she absolutely loves this. But that is it, guys. That is the shipment for today. Thank you so much for hanging with me while I literally get my work done. It is so nice to have people to talk to and nerd out about these things. I hope you found it enjoyable. If you did, consider leaving a like on this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you on this journey. It all helps me out so much with YouTube. But guys, without further ado, have the most amazing weekend. I hope you go and find some treasures while you're out there. Happy hunting, and I will see you in the next one.